Our tail of the tape for this featherweight fight. 37-year-old Leslie Smith against 36-year-old Arlene Blencowe. John, can I just beat you to it?
Go ahead.
Other than the height, everything else is virtually identical. You want to toss to Michael C. again?
No, you got it.
All right, Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA Live on Paramount Network now features featherweights inside the cage, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first, the blue corner. At 5'6", weighing in 145.3 pounds. The former Bellator World Title challenger stands with 12 professional victories, 7 losses from Penrith, Western Sydney, Australia. Presenting Arlene Blencowe. And across the cage, her adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'9", weighing in 145.5 pounds. Coming off her successful return to the Bellator cage, she enters tonight with 11 professional victories, 7 defeats, and 1 draw. Fighting out of San Francisco by way of Oakland, California, introducing Leslie, the Peacemaker Smith. In charge of the action, your referee, Michael Bell.
Michael Bell, our referee, for what may very well be a top contender matchup at 145 pounds. Smith and Blencowe. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. And here we go. Leslie Smith in the red gloves, Arlene Blencowe in the blue gloves.
It's going to be very interesting to see how much pressure Leslie Smith can put on Arlene Blencowe, because there's no doubt in my mind Arlene Blencowe has the faster hand. She's the faster fighter. One way to take that away is to pressure her and make it to where she cannot get her shots off.
One thing, John, you talked to Leslie Smith about was the little head movements she utilized in her win over Sinead Kavanaugh.
Yeah, it was such a big difference in her fighting style, and she has gotten that from her time with Carrie Melendez. All of the training she's doing with Carrie has really changed her ability in the stand-up. You can see right now, little feints, little head movements, left and right. Those are big difference makers, because her head used to be right down the center line and she was a target and she would take it to try to give one. Now she's actually slipping them and not taking the damage, and it's really working for her.
There is one of her 2 head coaches, Gilbert Melendez. Carrie is right behind her husband.
That was a nice right hand that Arlene Blencowe landed, though. And Leslie coming back with a right-left high kick.
Ducks under and comes over with the overhand right. And again, look for that same move.
One of the things with both of these ladies had nothing but respect for their opponent. They all talked about how tough each one was, how good they were, how hard they hit. So they knew what they were getting into stepping into the cage tonight.
Nice jab by Anger Fist. Good pressure by Leslie Smith.
And this is where, if there's a place where I think there's a difference in these 2 fighters, it is on the ground. Leslie Smith has a very good ground game. On top, she's very heavy with her hips. She understands position, and she sets submissions up very well. Arlene is a good defensive wrestler, so it's going to be very hard for Leslie to get her down to the ground.
Well, when you work with the likes of Gilbert Melendez and Jake Shields on a daily basis, you're going to get a pretty good ground game.
You work out with those people enough, it just kind of just comes in little waves. Eventually, you'll get there, or you end up leaving, because it's just
Let's go, ladies. Let's
murder.
work. Action.
Leslie just likes to throw hands.
She does, you know, and I've talked to her about that. I said, but you've got a great ground game. Yeah, but I just love standing up and throwing my hands. Nice job by Arlene, get her feet back there. That was a nice little move by Leslie. This is the kind of fight that Leslie is very good at, that grinding. Just keep on working, knees inside, put pressure, make her work, get her arms heavy right now.
Don't grab it, stop.
From being able to have to hold on to Leslie and hold her weight. Arlene's arms are working hard right now, and that starts to tend to slow down your punches too.
Both women welcome a brawl. Arlene Blencowe said, and I quote, "I will be the Bellator featherweight champion. No one will stand in my way." Her only setbacks in the Bellator cage, not once but twice, to the champion, Julia Budd. The first time she was basically fighting on one leg, and to Marlos Kunin, who she almost knocked out, John, and then she joked about the fact that Marlos took her arm home as a souvenir.
Yeah, she did. She goes, she still has it.
Well, she looks pretty good fighting with one arm. Good pressure by Smith, as you somewhat alluded to, partner.
That is one of the things. It's so hard to understand what it's like to have someone that you're hitting, and you are putting good shots on, and they just walk through everything you're doing, and they keep coming after you. They give you no moment to breathe. That is something that you have to get used to. You have to have people in practice putting you through those paces, or it will break you in a fight.
Let's go, ladies. Let's work.
Two things come to mind when I think of Leslie Smith. Mexico City and that exploding ear against Jessica I, and she was so proud afterwards when it was all stitched up. But more notably, she was pretty much the only person who would fight Chris Cyborg back in 2016 in Chris's hometown of Curitiba, Brazil.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Is nobody wanted to fight her, and Leslie goes, "I'll fight her."
Yep. Good first round.
Very good. Nice shots by both.
Good finish for Engelfritz. Nice spinning elbow.
Good. How you doing, Arlene? You good?
Both women had their moments in round one, but who gets it in your mind, partner?
You know, both women did have their
ready?
moments. I got to give it to
ready?
Leslie. She was the
Fight.
one that with the dirty boxing inside. She landed good shots. Arlene had her moments, that spinning back elbow at the end. I give it to Leslie Smith, 10-9.
Leslie Smith in the red gloves, Arlene Blencowe, the Australian, in the blue gloves. 20th professional fight for both women. 145 is absolutely loaded, especially with the additions of Chris Cyborg and now more recently Kat Zingano, the last fighter to beat Amanda Nunes.
Kat Zingano is going to be an outstanding addition to the 145-pound class here in Bellator. She is so good at everything. Her wrestling is super strong. Her submission game is great, and her striking is powerful.
And oh, by the way, she has a win over former world champion Misha Tate as well.
So you're saying she's pretty good?
I'm saying she's got a chance. And it's not one of those one in a million things. Gilbert Melendez said, let's utilize the clinch a little bit more, but then break and throw some strikes. You can break her down. You can break her spirit if you put the pressure on her.
I like what Arlene is trying to do. Arlene's trying to use that jab. Every time Leslie starts to make a move, you see her starting to try to pop that jab, that right hand straight out. These are the types of things when you have someone that's pressuring you, you got to say, it's okay, I'll let them play. I'm just going to put shots on you. I'm not going to try to knock you out with anything, but one of them eventually could do that.
Blencowe has not been stopped since the aforementioned fight against Marlos Kunin, which was her second Bellator fight. She had no amateur fights.
And what you're seeing, there's a difference between the first round and what occurred, and now what's happening in the second round. Arlene was getting into the brawls with Leslie. That plays into the favor of Leslie Smith. Now you're seeing Arlene saying, hey, I was a good boxer. I'm going to utilize my boxing skills, use my jab. Nice right hand by Arlene, and keep her off of me, and she's being effective with this technique.
True champions learn from setbacks and they evolve as fighters. Blencowe said since the last Julia Budd fight, a fight in which she feels she wasn't quite ready to be an MMA champion yet, she has grown exponentially mentally for Leslie Smith. She said, I was never worried about defense until I fought Chris Cyborg, which takes me back, John, to what I mentioned to you earlier, those little head movements she's using now.
Well, those head movements made a big difference, but you can see that left jab of Arlene Blencowe is starting to do damage now to the right side of Leslie Smith's face. She's got a little bit of a hematoma under the eye. The swelling is starting, and that's going to continue if Arlene continues to use that jab and pop that same spot.
Blencowe, 4 of her last 5 wins by knockout, the last one in 22 seconds. The 2-time boxing world champion. And she just pumps that jab over and over. Good combination, followed by the kick by Leslie Smith.
I mean, you see how she's firing back and keeping Leslie at that distance. This is the way that Arlene Blencowe can win this fight. All of this work that she's doing right now, this is scoring, it's adding up, and she's keeping Leslie from getting into that dirty boxing range that she's so good at.
Which is what Gilbert Melendez talked about between rounds when we were at commercial. Let's get inside, use the clinch, and do damage from there.
That's where Leslie has an advantage in this fight. And you look and you go, if you're Arlene and you can keep that from occurring, you've got a very good chance of walking away the winner. You just look at the way Arlene Blencowe throws that jab. It's just beautifully, shoots out straight, comes back on the same rail. Everything about it shows that she is a talented stand-up fighter. Nice right hand.
Left hook, leg kick.
30 seconds on the clock, round 2. Leslie trying to get inside. Blencowe says, not this time.
Leslie trying to get it into that dirty fight, just making it a brawl. Arlene saying, nope, not going to fall into that into this round.
Good round for the Aussie, Arlene Anger Fist Blencowe.
Time.
Partner, we even?
We are all even going into the 3rd round.
3rd round, you ready, Arlene?
5
ready,
minutes remain. Red gloves for Leslie Smith, blue gloves for Arlene Blencowe. The Kiwi, James Tahuna, said keep doing what you're doing. Keep that distance. There you see Big John's scorecard. 10-9 round 1 to Smith, 10-9 round 2 to Blencowe. Keep it at boxing distance. Arlene kept saying, Coach Jimmy, and we never called him Jimmy on the air.
That's because he beat us up.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Leslie getting real wide with those shots. She's trying to pull Arlene into that brawling style. Arlene is just not falling for it, and you can see that left jab is the difference maker in this fight right now.
Snapping the head of Leslie Smith back with that jab.
Yeah, beautiful leg.
Nice right hand by Leslie. That connected, but you saw Arlene responded off of it.
Keep throwing.
And that jab not only is doing damage, John, but it is preventing Leslie Smith from moving inside into clinch range.
Which is exactly where she needs to be. This is good for Leslie right now. Double unders. We'll see if she can do anything from this position. Nice inside or outside trip. Pull her back. Good balance by Arlene Blencowe.
Tyson Pedro, also one of the coaches of Blencowe.
Leslie gets close. She starts to upset the balance of Arlene, and Arlene gets it right back. All of that, you know, normally if someone gets that pressure, they're going to end up falling down. This is what that training does. It just programs your body to respond to that pressure and that balance shift and get yourself back. This is where Leslie needs the fight to be.
Let's go, ladies. Let's work.
And you can see Arlene tries to break, and she eats a left.
Beautiful left, right, straight down the pipe. Nothing being swung out wide by Arlene. Shortest route's going to get there the fastest.
Yep. And that whole straight line thing that they used to teach us about 4 decades or so ago for us.
This is your round, baby. Baby, you got it.
Gilbert Melendez
Nice.
throwing some verbal motivation towards his fighter, Leslie Smith. Very close. Round number 3, just past the midway point.
This is still anybody's round.
Absolutely. Both women known to finish their opponents by knockout. Both own 1 career submission. Dirty boxing here.
Let's go, ladies. Let's work. Action.
Arlene getting some good shots in. Yep. Leslie broke out and threw that elbow, which is something Gilbert Melendez talked about earlier. Nice. Blencowe looks light on her feet and very fluid tonight, John.
This is her kind of fight. This is where she's best. Nice kick. She blocked it with the hand, but it still got a little bit through. Arlene Blencowe, this is the kind of, she's not used to people saying, I want to fight on the feet with you. She's used to people trying to take her down all the time, so this is working out very well for her. She's feeling comfortable.
Arlene wanted to represent Australia on the Olympic boxing team. Fell short of that. So her gold that she seeks is Bellator gold.
Still
A
really
potential 3rd fight with Julia Budd.
Really good technique by Arlene, a lot of power on her shots. She's still got snap on those punches.
"30 seconds remain.
Can't tell you how impressed I am with the way that Leslie brings pressure and the way that Arlene dealt with that pressure. Both women putting on beautiful performances here.
Best performance we have seen from Arlene Blencowe as they go the distance. The official decision of this featherweight showcase from here at WinStar is coming up next. 21st time the Bellator cage has been inside the WinStar World Casino and Resort. Let's take a look at Big John McCarthy's unofficial scorecard. He gave rounds 2 and 3 to Angerfist, Arlene Blencowe. Let's see if the judges agree. Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we'll go to your judges' scorecards. All 3 judges at cage side, Chris Lee, David Tarin, and Sal D'Amato, all see it the same, 30-27. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Arlene Angerfist Blencowe.
Big win for Arlene Blencowe. And Big John will visit with Angerfist.
I'm here with your winner, Arlene Blencowe. Arlene, that was a beautiful performance. Your left jab was outstanding during that fight. Talk to me about the pressure that Leslie brought.
Oh, first of all, thank you, Leslie. She's a warrior. We knew that she was going to be tough, and she was tough. Most girls get stopped in their track when I hit them, but she kept coming. So thank you, Leslie. Thank you to my corner, Jamie, Dion, and Coach Wink, too. A big thank you to all my coaches and training partners back at home at Zoo Fitness. Hello to my kids at home, Kayla and Kian. And a massive shout out to my sponsors and all the fans. Thank you. Thank you everyone here, everyone back on social media who've sent messages and everyone who's called me. But yeah, thank you.
Do you think that this win right here could set you up for the winner of Julia Budd versus Chris Cyborg in Los Angeles?
Well, I'm #1 contender now, so it was only ever between me and Leslie, and I got that win. So yeah, I'll obviously leave it up to Bellator, and I'll just keep fighting who they put in front of me. But yeah, title shot again. I think I'm very deserving, 3 wins in a row.
I think you're very deserving too. That was a beautiful performance. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Anger Fist, Arlene Blencowe.
In Arlene's 2 fights against the champion, Julia Budd, one was a majority decision, one was a split decision. Will she see Julia Budd or Chris Cyborg in 2020? Only time will tell. Tonight, Arlene Blencowe, a winner by unanimous decision.